Hello and welcome to Catacris Magazine. We can be found on the web at www.catacris.com. My name is Jason J. Rock Houston, and I want to welcome to the show today Andy Haught, the lead singer from ZeroKing. Now, where's the band from, Andy?
So the band is based in West Virginia, although we have a couple of members that live in Kentucky. So we're basically a West Virginia band, though.
Okay, and first of all, Andy, as I welcome you to the show, let me wish you also happy Halloween, as you just did to me before we went on the air. And what's the music scene like there in West Virginia?
So the music scene in West Virginia has seen better days for sure. There's still some really strong bands from here. We've got a couple bands from here that are kind of known nationally and somewhat internationally. Most namely Byzantine, who are signed to Metal Blade Records.
Oh wow! Okay.
A long-running band called Bobaflex.
I've heard of them, yeah.
Has an offshoot band called The Lonely Ones, and they're pretty well known.
We're aware of them. In fact, just a couple of months back, I was talking to Marty. So yeah, we're well aware of Bobaflex and The Lonely Ones. So you're in good company there.
Yeah. Marty's been a good friend of ours for a long time. We've learned a lot from them over the years. So.
Yeah, they're one of those bands that just have really made a real splash in the music industry for the last couple of years. And now they got the other one, The Lonely Ones. But so two great bands out of it. I can't complain about that,
Sure.
Yeah, and so let me ask you about ZeroKing. I always love to ask people about, tell us the story behind the name, because right off the bat, Zero and King, I love the fact that it's such a cool name because they're two solar. You take apart the word, Zero and King, they're just two such polar opposites. King, you're kind of the best, or the top of your game, so to speak, and Zero kind of is nothing. So I love putting those two kind of polar opposite words together and coming up with ZeroKing.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we came in on that too. We love the fact that it has so diametrically opposed meanings.
Yeah.
But it can also mean like you don't have any kings or maybe in some cases gods before yourself kind of thing. So there's that kind of twist on it too, maybe. But honestly, I think the main meaning probably does come from the fact that in any given day, you can feel like a zero, or you can feel like a king, or both, and most people can relate to that.
Yeah, and that's. I was going to say that's really life if you think about it. I mean, we all go through good days and bad days, and I'm sure as a songwriter, that's where you pull a lot of your topics for your songs, from your own life experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other thing we liked about the name was the 3-syllable flow.
Yeah.
That Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, that kind of, that kind of appealed to us. Aerosmith is another great one, So the syllable flow we liked a lot, and we liked the way it looked when we put it up on a T-shirt or on a banner or wherever, on a drum head. It has, it kind of pops out at you.
It's funny you say that, because in watching the video for Back Off and looking at a couple of videos on your Facebook, just photos of the band. That's one thing that really pops out is the visuals, and especially the logo. The logo, I was looking at the video today for Back Off, and the videos displayed on T-shirts and throughout the video, and that's one thing that really does stand out in either photos or videos is the band's logo.
Yeah, we've always been very visually marketing conscious of looking like a band, coming off like a band, basically being that there's no there's no mistaking that we're a rock band, and that we're serious, and that we are trying to present ourselves as something serious,
Yeah, I don't know if you were influenced at all by either Kiss or Motley Crue, but again, watching the video for Back Off to prep for the interview today, I see some similarities between what you guys do and those bands do, in the sense that, like you, Motley Crue and Kiss, if you watch any music video or anything, any of those bands, just advertisements for, an album or a tour or something, both of those bands are great at marketing and visual eye candy, if you know what I mean. And I think that's something that you, just knowing very little about band and just watching the one video, it seems like that's something you guys draw from.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are the kind of things things we grew up on was, Kiss and Ozzy and Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and
Sure.
Quiet Riot and
Wow.
all those kind of bands. Especially the core three of us. We're all about the same age. We all grew up on that kind of music. JB's probably maybe a decade younger.
Okay.
So his influences come a little bit more from maybe the nu metal side of things.
And that's interesting. I mean, you have the three older guys and the one young guy. He obviously, I'm sure, really brings that influence into the band.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, although we listen to a lot of modern bands as well too.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I like a little bit of everything, but yeah, those are the type of bands. All those bands you listed that I kind of grew up on. And while Motley Crue's been in the news lately, being that you're a Crue fan, I got to ask, what do you think about Mick Mars announcing that he's leaving the band?
I mean, Mick's given a lot of his life to Motley Crue.
He's really
he probably put more into it than any of the other guys when you think of his physical ailments and setbacks and things like that.
Yeah.
But he never let it stop him from touring or participating in the band in any way. Even when he was probably very uncomfortable, I would imagine.
I mean, I totally agree.
I feel like he deserves his retirement from the road.
Yeah.
I feel like John 5 is going to be a great addition to the band, and from what I understand, Mick is still going to contribute riffs and songwriting. So I feel like he'll still be part of the family, and hopefully John 5 fits in there and kind of maybe he brings a little fresh energy to the crew.
I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, Mick, I think, is one of those. He's really a rock and roll warrior, like you said. I mean, he really beat his body up and all his little health issues, and he's obviously done it for as long as he can physically stand to do it. And he wrote all those great Motley Crue riffs, and the other thing, like John 5, like you were saying, I think if anybody is going to be able to step into those huge Mick Mars shoes, he's the guy to do it.
Yeah, it's a great choice. I mean, I hate to see him leave Rob Zombie because I really like what him and Rob did together, and maybe down the road, him and Rob can still work together in some capacity as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, rumors were floating around for the last several weeks about this, and I kind of, once I heard, that he left Rob Zombie's band, I'm like, yeah, okay, it's more than just a rumor. It's actually going to happen,
Right. Yeah, I think back in September, Metal Sludge was probably the first one to really kind of break it, and everybody was like, "No way."
Yeah.
But then you're right. When Riggs stepped in there and did that show, and John 5 wasn't there with Rob Zombie at that was it Aftershock out in California there?
Yeah.
Yeah. When that happened, it was like, oh, there might be something to this. And John 5 is a fantastic guitar player. I saw him do his solo thing at Metal of the Mountains. It wasn't last year, but the year before last.
Yeah.
And what a show! He's just such a versatile player. Really can do anything.
Yeah, I think Motley Crue's lucky to get him. I mean, he's played with everybody from David Lee Roth to Rob Halford. You mentioned Rob Zombie. I know he's done stuff with like even K.D. Lang. So he's one of those guys that super talented, great songwriter, he can write those great guitar riffs. So I think he's going to fit in Motley Crue real nice. And the last thing I'll say about John 5 is I got his latest solo album. I think it's called John 5 and the Creatures, and the album is called Sinner. And he does it, and there's a great duet he does with Dave Mustaine from Megadeth on there, and a cool little instrumental cover of Queen's crazy little thing called Love, if you could even imagine that.
Yeah. I mean, with him, anything is possible because he can go from chicken picking to classical shred or something. So
yeah, that's what I dig. And now let's get back to ZeroKing, because again, in prepping for the interview, I really dug all the martial arts stuff. Is that something that you're into, or talk a little bit about the video and why you chose to include the martial arts?
Well, see, it's kind of funny how that all came together. My guitar player, Shane, he has a screen printing embroidery design business.
Okay.
And one of his clients runs a dojo out of Chesapeake, Ohio. I believe it's called the Chesapeake Karate Academy.
Okay.
And they were talking one day, and we were kind of we were batting around. We didn't know what the single was going to be for the record, or what the first video was going to be. And Shane was talking to him, and I guess he was talking about his students, and he mentioned Kaylin Kowalski, who's the star of the video. She is I guess, nationwide champion.
Yeah.
She's been on the cover of Black Belt magazine.
Wow.
I've actually watched her compete on ESPN2, like before we released the video and stuff. She had done a competition, and I was like, and so anyway, Shane was talking with the owner of this dojo, and about having his students be involved, and it'd be a fun thing for them to do, and we just really like the idea of doing something outside the band and bringing in another element, a whole bunch of different kids and parents and their friends and that sort of thing that might help sort of push our song and also promote themselves, so it was sort of a co-promotion kind of thing, and it couldn't have come out better. I love the video. It's so fun, and it's kind of like karate's really hot right now. We really wanted to target it when Cobra Kai was going to hit the new season, and we missed that window just a little bit, but I still think I still think it's really eye-catching and pretty timely as far as that whole sort of karate.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. And in watching the video myself, prepping to talk to you today, Andy, the thing is, while my eyes were very much on, the band in the video, I got to be honest that the martial arts stuff was equally visually appealing. And I love hearing stories like that because, when I was getting ready to talk to you today, after watching the video, I'm thinking, there must be some kind of either these guys are really into martial arts or some kind of connection. And there's a connection, like you said, I guess, business-wise with your bandmate. But I love when things like that happen. For example, I mean, you're always seeing where, like, at sporting events, they're playing, like, they might play a Megadeth song or a Metallica song, and it gets featured, during the game or something, and people are loving the song, getting off on the song. People that might not typically listen to those metal type of songs. When you can bring like sports and music together, I love that, and I love like what you're saying, what you guys did, because it's not maybe initially something that you yourself, Andy, were even into martial arts, but because of your bandmate, you were able to combine your music and what his friend's martial arts business does, and people like your audience, your fans that are watching the video, again, may have no interest initially in martial arts, anything like that, but after watching the video, I bet very much like the story I just told you with me watching it, you can say, oh, that's cool, what is that? I want to learn more about that, Yeah,
I mean, it was a way for us to kind of present ourselves to hopefully a different audience than somebody who was just tuning in just to see a rock band or whatever. And I think what I really love about the video is, for the first time in one of our videos, although we've had storylines and we've had our friends acting and things like that in other videos, it was really a chance to do something that was not really about us so much, and sort of like really focus on these kids who are super talented, and the lead male apparently is a gymnast champion as well. So, and the cool thing about the dojo at being involved is we were able to include kids from age 7 up to say 21 or something. So it was like beginners, intermediates, advanced. Everybody got to participate. Everybody had a role in the thing, and it told a story that kind of goes along with the song and the energy of the song and the video. So.
Yeah, so how long was the video shoot? I know typically video shoots can be all-day events, but like what was this experience like?
So this experience, it was an all-day thing, but I showed up probably in the later part of the day because Shane, our guitar player, it was his storyboard, his ideas for the video, and he worked with the kids and got them to do different things, and it was pretty much like I just showed up and performed in the two performance scenes, which is kind of rare. Usually I'm a lot more involved in the storyline of things, but it was kind of nice just to be like, okay, this is in Shane's hands, he's got this, and he did great. That was his first time really directing a video. We brought in Matt Napier, shoot it, and he's really, really talented. So yeah, any bands out there in our region that are looking for a good pro video, Matt is definitely a good guy to look up for sure. And so,
as you guys are filming the video, was the music playing, or was that edited in later?
No, we definitely. When you see us performing, Chris is actually playing the drums. The rest, we're obviously miming the rest of it.
Of course.
But the track is playing. We have it. Chris is on a click. That way we can time code it and match it up.
And the reason I was asking that, because that's of course the way it's typically done, but I was curious again. All these people that are taking part in being in the video, the people from the martial arts class, and that. How much of them were kind of getting off on the song and kind of afterwards or during the breaks coming up to you and the other guys in the band and wanting to find out about the band? Hey, who are you guys? Or you guys got a record or anything like that we can check out? Was any of that?
Yeah, we got to know Kaylin a lot, actually. And then we've stayed in contact with her and her family. And she is from the Detroit, Michigan area. And we've been playing Detroit recently. And she's actually going to be able to go to... The first time we played Detroit, she wasn't able to attend because she was competing in Minneapolis.
Wow, yeah.
And this time, in December, we're playing this place called The Token, which is a pretty world-famous club in Detroit. It's our first time at The Token, and her and her family are actually going to come out and support the band and attend. And, if people want to meet her and get their picture taken with her, we'll make that happen as far as, be at our merch table and stuff like that, too. So...
that's cool.
So we're definitely staying in contact with her, and I think Shane also has some contact with some of the, if not the kids themselves, then their parents, and certainly Alan, the guy who runs the dojo. He and Shane are, like I said, friends. So.
That's cool. That's cool. Very cool story. I had no idea before talking to you today. Now let me ask you. Of course, the song is off your upcoming album, American Savior. Do you have a release date for that yet?
We do. It's November 25th.
Oh, okay, right in time for Thanksgiving and Christmas. What a nice little holiday package for people, huh? Put in the stocking. Yeah. And so, being that today's Halloween, Andy, I got to ask you: do you have anything you traditionally do on Halloween? Like a lot of people do, like to get dressed up, or they like to at least watch like classic horror films. What's your tradition?
So I always watch classic horror films all year round. Yeah. That's like a passion of mine for sure. Yeah. I don't know what we'll do tonight, but on Friday we did go out. We dressed up, went to a bar and went to karaoke. Just met some friends and things like that. It was nice to actually have a weekend off. Usually we're out playing, but I'm off I was off that weekend, or the previous weekend, and I'm off this weekend. I'm actually going to see Ice Nine Kills, Black Veil Brides, Wilson White, and Atreyu. So that's still kind of Halloween, right?
Yeah, for sure. Now let me ask you, that sounds like fun, going out and during your off time and doing karaoke. A lot of people have done that. Typically, you go and you get a guy that thinks he's the greatest singer, doesn't really have much experience, but it's all in the name of fun. What's it like for you being a professional singer and going to karaoke and getting to kind of have some fun and sing like a classic song, maybe that?
I did Billy Idol Rebel Yell when I did karaoke, but it was really more about my girlfriend Carla. I wanted her to get up and sing. She really loves it. So she did a Joan Jett song. It's a little weird because you don't have a band.
Yeah.
In a way, you're a little bit more like
naked, kind of.
Naked, kind of. Because when you have a band, it's like
the music backs you up. Yeah.
You can feel the vibe. You can feel the drum beat. You can feel the bass. You have this whole like kind of wall of instrumentation and sound that you sort of just become one with. And when it's karaoke, it's just you and a microphone and the track. So that's it's different for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one of the I was going to say that there was in Atlanta. I used to live in Atlanta back in the early 2000s, and they had this thing called. They still have it actually. It's called Meddlesome, and it's karaoke, but it's with a live band.
Oh wow!
And there was a point in my life where I wasn't really in bands. I was kind of more on the business side of things, but I really got the bug for it again because of this experience of jamming with the band and doing karaoke with the live band. And I was like, oh yeah, I really missed this. I need to get back into this. And it wasn't long after that ZeroKing got rolling. So
let me ask that. That's really interesting. So a lot of people do have that story. You get success or you try stuff like a little later in life, but what was it also a matter of, Andy, people telling you, Andy, you should really take the singing thing serious. You got, pretty good voice. Was other people pushing you, or just did you miss it yourself?
I missed it. People also noticed. They were like, "Well, you should really be back in the band, or you should be fronting the band again."
Yeah.
And I kind of thought, well, I'm too old, because I was past 30 at that point. You know what I'm saying? Back then, it was like, "Oh, you're over 30, you'll never make it," blah blah blah.
I'm with you. I mean, I remember when I turned 30, I thought like, man, it's all downhill from here. But of course, what did we know then, right?
Yeah. So it wasn't long after that I moved back to West Virginia. My drummer played me some demos of some stuff that he had been working on with the guitar player that is in our band now, and I was pretty impressed by it. I was like, okay, this is cool, and like shortly thereafter, we got ZeroKing rolling.
And before we wrap this up, like, how old is ZeroKing? Like, what's the year you guys first formed?
Yeah. So the band, like, it has its roots way back into the 90s, but the ZeroKing itself got going probably, I'm going to say 2005, 2006.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we've, we put out a few records, and we went through some different lineups, but we kind of got our classic lineup together back in 2018. And that was sort of our reboot right there.
Okay.
We started working on this record and really recorded the bulk of it during the pandemic.
Wow.
We had started it, but we couldn't play any shows during that time. So it was like, well, let's get this record finished so that when everything clears back up, we'll have a record, we'll be ready to go. And the timetable on that got slowed down a little bit because we got back in touch with Dave Tedder and Vanity and Weapon Records and all that. And so we've been basically preparing for the release of the record basically all year.
Yeah. Dave Tedder, he's a great publicist. He's given me a lot of great interviews with his band, so I give a shout out to him. But I got to ask, in regards to the past records, if people like me that are just discovering the band, are those past records, are they still in print? Can people check them out still? Get their hands on them?
Oh yeah, both of our full-length records are on Spotify and Apple Music and all those different outlets. And we have CDs physically available at our shows. I'm not sure. So Empire of Sin we kind of put out independently ourselves.
Yeah.
We had put out a record with Dave back in the early, like say around 2012 or so.
Okay.
And then that sort of ran its course, and we sort of lost touch with Dave for a minute there for a few years. I don't know if it was because of his move or what exactly happened. And we were also trying to feel out some other options and stuff like that as well. So we put out a record independently at the end of 2019, which is not a great time to put out a record.
Yeah.
Just prior to a pandemic, doesn't work out great. So we did get it, digitally. It's up on the Orchard. We sell it at our shows, but I don't know if there's any way to physically order the CDs at this point on that album.
Oh, well, okay.
Kings was available on Amazon and all that sort of thing. So I'm not sure if you can probably order Kings, I would imagine. Yeah,
well, I just we want to give people a little backstory on the band, so they want to kind of know, hey, how long has this band been around? Because honestly, Andy, before Dave reached out to me, I had never heard the band, and like I said, to prep for the interview, I kind of was checking out the video for Back Off, and so honestly, I'm talking, and that's pretty much what I've heard, but I think the track, you guys chose a great track to kind of lead off the new album as far as picking for a single, because to me, hearing only that one track, it was so good that I can't wait to hear it. I'm thinking, if this track that they're leading off with is that good, the rest of the album's got to be at least as good as that.
Yeah, we're really excited about the record. We put, I think we put some of our best songs on it for sure. Yeah. And the other records we put out are good quality too.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Empire just, kind of fell, not on deaf ears per se, but it fell. We couldn't really promote it.
Yeah.
So we just kind of moved on from that. We were like, well, let's just put another record out. And if people go back and discover Empire or they discover Kings of Self-Destruction, that's great, because those are all great records. And we still stand behind those records, and we still play some of those songs live. And
you should, because
they all represent us really well, I think.
As you should, because those albums that are, the previous releases, those were statements, for that time. And then American Savior, that's kind of a statement for, here in 2022, what you guys are doing now. And so when you guys go out and do a live show, or most of the set list going to come from a new album, or is it going to be a little bit of everything?
It's actually a little bit everything. We've kind of come to the point where we kind of figured out like our top, say, 5 songs that are on Spotify.
Yeah.
And we really try to hit those, because if people are playing those, listen to them on their Spotify or their playlists or whatever, then we kind of figure, well, people want to hear those songs specifically. And then we pick some other stuff, from the different records. And then we throw in some covers for fun too, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Wow. And so, if you mentioned playing shows in Detroit and Virginia, obviously your local area where you're from. But have you played anywhere else in the U.S. or is that kind of what you're going to do with the new album?
Yeah, we want to get to some new places. We are starting to hit the Midwest a lot more.
Okay.
Like I said, we've been playing in Michigan. I think we have maybe 2 more shows in Michigan this year, and a couple shows in Kentucky this year, and then we're kind of looking towards 2023. We haven't really figured out all that yet, but we'll have some dates we'll be announcing here soon. And we're hoping to hit some places we've never played before.
And that's the thing.
I would say we've probably over our history. Let's do a quick count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, I don't know, probably 10 to 15 states, just off the top of my head.
Oh, wow, that's pretty good.
That we haven't played in the U.S., so.
That's pretty good. And who knows, maybe one day take it overseas. But I mean, that's a good thing, too, about releasing the album towards the end of the year. It gives you time for people to go out and buy the album, hear the whole album in its entirety. And then by the time, the tour kicks off, maybe next year, people will know those songs.
Yeah, we also have a lyric video we put out earlier in the year for Deader Dancing, which is another track from the album. Okay, and so people can check that out. That gives you, but I think there's another lyric video. There's a lyric video for American Savior too. So there's like 3 videos where people can hear songs from the record right now, and then of course everybody will get to hear the record in November. So. Well,
when we post this interview, we'll be sure to post those other videos along with the one for Backup, so people can get a real taste of what the band's about. It. And I guess final question for today, Andy, is in regards to COVID and everything being locked down during the recording of this, how was it recorded? Like, was everybody in the same room? Everybody recorded their parts separately in their own home studios? What was the process?
So we recorded mostly separately, but it wasn't in their own home studios. We had a guy named Jason Baker. That he's in, he did live right here in Charleston, where I'm from, but he actually moved to Fort Wayne and just started working for Sweetwater.
Oh, okay.
And so he's going to be living up there, and we're probably going to find a different guy to track with here, and then send our stuff to Jason to mix on some of the upcoming releases we'll be doing. We've got a cover EP that's coming out fairly soon.
Oh, wow.
I've got to finish up some vocals on it, but we're pretty excited about that.
I can't wait to hear that. That's always fun to do. Yeah.
And so yeah, we just kind of did it as as he could get the time, as we could get the time, and probably finished it up. We were done with it by the time in June of 21, I think, was when the restrictions lifted here in West Virginia.
Oh, wow.
And we could start playing live music again. And so yeah, there was a good almost year and a half there where we played a few shows. We went to Kentucky a couple times, and we went to Virginia. I think those were the only 2 states we could find that were actually allowing live music during that point.
So talking about wanting to play again, I mean, that must have been like the ultimate kind of comeback, first live show after all that downtime.
Yeah. I mean, so the first show I went to was a local show at a club called Empty Glass, and that was a really big deal. It was kind of like the first, I guess, metal hard rock show in West Virginia that they'd had for probably a better part of a year or more.
Yeah. Wow.
And then it starting completely over. You had to find out what clubs were even still out there, who was booking live music, and so 21 and most of 22 has really just been about rebuilding markets for ourselves and getting out there and kind of reconnecting with bands and reconnecting with different promoters that we knew from the before times.
Yeah. I mean, thank God it didn't go the other way, because even here in Los Angeles, where I'm from, like they have a legendary club like the Whiskey, where everybody from Rad and Van Halen and the Doors got their start. And because of the governor out here, there was talk that all these legendary music clubs and even like local movie theaters were being closed down. I mean, I remember seeing the governor out here get on the TV news and kind of like bragging, "Oh, we're going to close down the entertainment industry." I don't know why that would be something to brag about, but thank God it never came to that,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people were hungry for it.
Yeah.
I think people really started to appreciate the fact that, this could go away. We really need to get out and support this.
I can say it was the first time in my life that really kind of, me personally, kind of saw, oh wow, these little things like going to a rock concert or going to a local movie theater, these things that you think are, you got the right to do could easily be taken away, and it kind of makes, like you said, makes you have that much more of a appreciation for just little things like, I mean, being told that you can't even go to work and you could get arrested if you go outside your house and you got to stay in. I mean, things that you never thought that the world would come to.
Right, absolutely. I can honestly say this. So even with the restrictions, we never stopped practicing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
we always made it a point. It was like, okay, it doesn't matter. Let's just risk it. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean,
let's keep practicing. Let's keep working on our stuff right now because we wanted to be ready.
Yeah.
When it came back, we wanted to be able to go out there and hit it hard and get out there and play. Whereas a lot of bands were like, "Oh, I haven't played in a year," and more power to them. But we just felt like it was worth the risk to us, because if we didn't have that, I don't know if any of us have kept our sanity at all. Really.
Yeah, I give you guys credit for.
It's kind of the one thing we could go actually do was go practice.
Yeah, I mean, I give you guys props for having that kind of attitude, because that was a thing. A lot of bands out there, because of the situation, a lot of bands would get on their high horse and for whatever reason be like, we're not going to even play a show or even think about writing a new song until the end of this pandemic. And again, that's your right to do that. But I have a lot more respect too for bands that were like doing what you guys did. Well, we're going to take advantage of this opportunity. We're going to write as much new music as we can. We're going to go in and record as much new music. I mean, I know this one guy plays in like 3 different bands, and he was telling me I've already got my next 5 to 6 albums in the can already because of all that downtime I had. So I mean, that's pretty cool, I mean, wow.
Absolutely.
And before I let you go, Andy, I wanted to ask you, because it's for the same site, but I have this other interview series we do called On the Record, where we talk with musicians about their favorite bands and a favorite album. So do you have one such album that you might be interested in talking with us about down the line?
I mean, you pretty much name a record from from one of the big 80s bands. I could probably talk about it for decades.
Well,
I don't know. Favorite albums of all time. Let's go Quiet Riot, Mental Health. That was a big one for me.
That's a good one. I mean, okay, I'll say this about Mental Health. I mean, it definitely hit the #1 mark. It was like the first #1 metal album. For that reason alone, I think it's worth talking about. It's also another album that kind of a lot of people forget about, and sadly, Kevin and Frankie have passed on. But I dig the fact that Rudy's back, and they're kind of carrying the legacy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Those songs definitely have a life that has now went by any of the founders, even except for Rudy. I mean, and Rudy was definitely
part of that, a big part of that.
Mental health, for sure. I mean, so we could talk about that record. We could talk about Appetite for Destruction. We could talk about any of the Motley Crue records.
Well, I'll just tell you, Andy. If you've been on my site, you'll see that I've interviewed a lot of people, more than once, and I really enjoyed chatting with you and getting to know you. So I'm sure we'll do it more than once. But that'd be a good place to start with Quiet Riot. And I guess Honestly, the last question for you today, because it just popped in my head. Have you ever had the opportunity, like with ZeroKing, to open up for any bands like Quiet Rider or any of these bands that you grew up on?
So not a whole lot of the bands that we grew up on, but certainly a lot of bands that we've looked up to.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Over the years,
Yeah.
I mean, we've played with Jackal, we played with Saliva.
Wow.
We played with Fozzy a couple times. We played with Nonpoint, Pop Evil.
Okay.
Let's see.
There's
so many.
That's quite a diverse list.
Cherry is a band from our area that we really like a lot, and respect those guys for what they've done, especially over in Europe. We got to open for Airborne. I mean, there's been a lot. Soil, Dope.
Wow, quite a diverse list of bands, and what I dig about that, that tells me that not only is ZeroKing a band with kind of got that level of talent to play with bands of that caliber, but it shows me that you guys are able to play with such a diverse group of people. It almost like you could play with a Saliva or a Fozzy or a more extreme metal band. I mean, I think you guys.
There's little bits of those elements in our music.
Yeah.
From all sorts of genres. I mean, we might have a song that's kind of thrashy.
Yeah.
We might have a song that's more like just a hard rock,
wow.
Four on the floor kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we've always been able to play with bands who were lighter than us, bands that were heavier than us.
That's cool.
Sort of, we can adapt to, and not say that we'll go out and open for a death metal and play death metal.
Yeah.
but we can adapt to have a heavier set, maybe more power group, Pantera kind of sound and stuff. We can pick more songs like that from our catalog or whatever. To play with the heavier bands, or go more rock and roll and say open for a Buck Cherry or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would work too. Well, Andy, I will let you go. And like I said, it's been great getting to know you and chatting with you. The interview we just did is going to probably go up in a week or two. Once I have a date for that, I will let Dave know. And feel free to post it on any of your sites. And do you want to let people know where they can find you and the band online?
Sure, absolutely. It's facebook.com/ZeroKingFans is definitely the best way to connect with us. We also have an Instagram page, which I recently had to restart our Instagram page. Our new Instagram is ZeroKing Band Official. We have a YouTube channel, which I believe is also ZeroKing Official. Spotify, we're on there. Just look up ZeroKing. Those are probably the best ways to, and you can find me on Facebook, ZeroKing Andy, but I hit that 5,000 limit on friends a long time ago. But if you send me a request and send me a message and tell me, hey, I dig your band or whatever, then I can find an older profile and kind of, delete that. An inactive profile,
Yeah, that's the funniest thing about Facebook. You just reminded me of, oftentimes I'll try to like a page and they'll tell me, oh, you've reached the 5,000 mark, lose one of your pages and then you can like this page. I'm like, wow, what's the big deal? But okay.
It makes you miss MySpace because, I remember I think at one point on MySpace I had maybe like 14,000 friends or something.
Yeah.
So, there was no limits like that back in the day when we started with social media,
I mean, just think about that. The fact that there could be that many bands or entertainment websites, over 5,000. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Andy, you enjoy the rest of your Halloween, and thanks for doing today's interview. I'll talk to you again down the line. You take care, and I look forward to listening to the rest of the album once it comes out.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me today.
Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you.
Chaotic Riffs Magazine.